Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this week's reading, I'm using the Robin Hood Tarot. And I'm going to start by drawing 3 cards. Each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. Okay, and I'm joined by my new kitty, Henry, and he's sleeping. He's sleeping on the chair next to me. I think my other kitty, Merlina, is in the living room sleeping. Everyone's just sleeping right now. Everyone's taking it easy. Okay, so this first card is going to represent Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And we have the 4 of Swords. Oh, I love this card. I always get a sense of relief when I get the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords says, you've been working really hard. You've been thinking hard. You've been focused. You've been working hard. You've been doing lots of stuff. You need a break. And specifically, this is about giving your mind a rest, giving your mind a break. Because this is the Suit of Swords, and the Suit of Swords is all about the mental aspects of day-to-day life and the intellect and thoughts, the mind. So this is about giving your mind a rest. And think about, what kinds of activities can you do that engages other aspects of yourself, not your mind. So for me, exercise is a big one. I find exercise in some ways is kind of relaxing, especially if it's something that's kind of repetitive, like swimming or walking or running. But this card is also about perhaps even spending time alone. And I don't want to say blocking out distractions, but this card is really about enjoying a low stimulation environment. So, just kind of giving yourself a rest. I think we get tired and worn down when we're overstimulated, when there's always a phone ringing or, noises and things on in the background and, things we have to do, places we have to be, traffic noises, all that stuff. And I think sometimes our bodies and our minds just need a respite from all of that. And that's what this card is really about. It's about, taking a nap, having a bit of a rest. And then as we get into the middle of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, we've got the 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is a card of worry and anxiety. And it's what happens when we believe every single anxious thought that we have. And we think that, if you ever stop yourself in the middle of kind of an anxiety attack and start to look at what kinds of thoughts you're having, you'll notice that not only are you having anxious thoughts, but you're believing those anxious thoughts, and that's why you're anxious. So the 9 of Swords always appears when it's time to remind you to question your thoughts and take a look at them. Sometimes our thoughts are true, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're partially true, and sometimes we can find a thought that is even more true than the anxious thought. So really this is about questioning some of the worries and the anxieties that you have. And when you do this, you're much less likely to get kind of sucked into that vortex of worry and negative thinking. This card can also represent difficulty sleeping, and I think it's interesting that both cards show someone in, well, this guy I think is in a coffin, but it looks like he's sort of in a bed, and it's like someone's lying down, resting with their eyes closed, and then it's like they suddenly sit up in bed and oh no, I just remembered something. It was like me last night. It was like 1:30 at night, or 1:30 in the morning, and I was falling asleep, and then all of a sudden I remembered that I'd forgotten the laundry and I'd left it all in the washing machine, and I didn't want to leave it overnight because it gets like that gross moldy smell. So then in the middle of the night I got up, and I didn't want to run the dryer at night, so then I went out in my yard in the middle of the night and put all this stuff on the line, and then it rained overnight and everything was soaking in the morning. Anyways, I don't know why I'm going on about that. So the card for the weekend, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is really a card of success. It's a card of optimism, good self-esteem. It comes up in a reading to really give you assurance that things are going to work out in your favor, and you're going to succeed in whatever it is that you're putting your energy into. It's also a card that reminds you to recognize your own accomplishments and your own successes. So I think that sometimes we fall into that trap of wanting approval and accolades from other people, and we forget to really give ourselves a pat on the back. So I think the Six of Wands is here to remind you to do that, to recognize your own, your own talents and abilities, and celebrate the things that you've achieved. Just think about, what have I achieved in the last year or couple years or whatever, and what am I most proud of? What have I done that I'm proud of doing? Okay, so I'm just gonna look at all of these 3 cards together. It's kind of like this week is like this gradual process of waking up in a way, because you've got the person who seems to be sleeping or dead in the Four of Swords, and then waking up, and then on the horse, wide awake, riding through the village. So there is this theme of waking up and becoming more conscious. And it makes me think of, what happens when we become more aware and more conscious in our own lives, when we start to, really open our eyes, and when we're willing to not so much live life to the fullest, but start paying attention to things, start paying attention to how we're feeling, the thoughts that we're thinking, and the direction that we're going in, and to start questioning some of these things, and to start asking ourselves, where am I putting my energy on a daily basis? And is that leading down a path that feels good? Is this, where I want to go? Or can I change direction? Do I want to go in a different direction? What does that entail? What new habits do I need to create? So I think that the theme overall for this week is really about becoming more conscious and aware in your own life. But at the same time, I feel like in order to do that, you first need to have this period of rest and, respite and rejuvenation and going within. That needs to happen first before any kind of awareness takes place. And just trying to see if there's anything else I want to mention. I'm just looking for repeating symbols or patterns on these cards, and I think I pretty much mentioned everything that I wanted to. Yeah. So I want to invite you to have a look at these cards and notice which card you're the most drawn to. Which one piques your interest? Which one really draws you in? And when you look at that card, is there a particular symbol or image or figure on that card that draws your attention? Like, what are you drawn to on that card? And what do you think it means? What does that mean to you? And how is it relevant in your life right now? This can be an interesting exercise to do, and you don't need to do it, give yourself time to do this. You don't need to do it in 1 minute. But, give yourself time to really look at these cards and ask, what am I drawn to? And what symbol am I drawn to on that card? And you can learn all kinds of cool things about yourself and your life from doing that. Okay, so this has been your weekly tarot card reading. My name is Kate. You can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link to my website in the description box below this video. And on my website, you can learn all about reading cards. You can get some free tarot spreads, watch some video tutorials. There's all kinds of fun exercises and suggestions of cool things you can do with your tarot cards. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.